Hi everyone, welcome
Hello.
back to Kangen Culture TV. It's Dan and Liz here, and this week we are covering, so you bought a Kangen Water Ionizer.
Now what? Getting the most out of your machine while getting your business going.
So we're talking about the first 30 to 60 days of owning your machine. The best advice that I received when I bought my first JR2 was don't attempt to educate anyone about Kangen water without help for the first 30 days of owning. I didn't know if this was because most new distributors in network and social marketing verbally vomit on all their warm market. They get shut down and never truly pursue the opportunity. Or because it takes about 30 days for Kangen water to infiltrate our body completely and get all the old water out of. Either way, I was glad that this person told me this because it gave me the opportunity to take the first steps first. So I'm going to support you all in your first 30 days of owning a Kangen water device to not go out and talk and try and educate without some form of help.
And so education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. And that's an Albert Einstein quote that Liz absolutely loves. And she did say the first 30 days, but even if you find yourself 60, 90, even 6 months in, but you're still new to Enagic, this is going to be helpful for everybody.
A lot of people often make the mistake of going out and talking to their closest friends and family in confidence when they don't know what it is they're even drinking. I made the mistake of going out and talking to close people to me in the first 30 days and realized very quickly that I didn't know exactly what I was talking about, even though I was having amazing results with the water. We suggest that you drink Kangen water, especially at the beginning, as much as you can, as often as you can.
And when you begin drinking Kangen water, start with the 8.5 and every 3 to 5 days raise the pH until you reach 9.5. If at any point you experience extreme detoxification symptoms, you can back down the pH scale and stay there as long as you like. This is important because everybody kind of detoxes a little bit differently. So pH actually stands for the potential of hydrogen. The pH in Kangen water is made from an electrical charge, creating an abundance of molecular hydrogen. Kangen water pH is not made with inorganic minerals such as your bottled waters, who will add sodium bicarbonate, which is just essentially baking soda to create their pH. So not everybody is the same, and all bodies will adapt differently to the water.
Some of the symptoms of detoxification and withdrawal, sometimes when people are doing the water trials, they'll stop drinking soda or stop with coffee or other beverages that have a lot of sugar in them. So that's where the withdrawal can come from. But detoxification symptoms look like headache, irritability, frequent bathroom visits, cravings, brain fog, skin irritation, gas, bloating, fatigue, mood swings, and body aches. There are people who drink this water and it's not an amazing experience in a good way at first. There's a syndrome called Herxheimer's syndrome where body can actually go under stress before it feels good. So if people are having reactions to the water, I say that's a good thing, but the reactions don't always feel good. It's a matter of working through at a very slow pace. That's why not everybody's going to be a 9.5 drinker. My dog's a 9.0 drinker because he gets too energetic on the 9.5. So we find where our balance is and we stay there. We can go up or down. Not everybody is the same.
And your body will talk to you, so just listen.
Yeah.
So getting to know your ionizer, ask questions from knowledgeable distributors, use your upline, utilize people around you if you have the opportunity, watch numerous demonstrations, listen and take notes. There's lots of educational videos, including documentaries. There's tons of information on YouTube. And most of all, push all the buttons on your device and discover the many uses of each level of the water. I myself had my machine for almost 18 months before I ever utilized the beauty water button at all. And now it's one of my favorite buttons on the machine. So push buttons, utilize the 2.5 hypochlorous acid. While you're doing that, take advantage of the 11.5 pH water that's coming out of the top. Rinse your vegetables, use it as a degreaser on your stove. Amazing things. And just become a product of the product.
In the first 30, 60, 90 days, we think of a lot of people who could benefit from this water. And instead of going out and talking to them right away, it's great to create lists. And here's 4 different kinds of lists that we work with. The warm market list being the people who are closest in your social circle, your family, your friends, your confidants. That's everybody in your warm market. Maybe people at church too, that you have a good connection with, an open line of communication. Cold market list includes acquaintances, community members, and those running in distant social circles. They can also be the lady at the grocery store, the checkout lady that you always go to see because she's got a great smile. It can also be people at the dog park that you might know their dog's name, but not theirs. That's the cold market list. The chicken list, which is my favorite, are the individuals who intimidate us, that make us feel nervous about approaching them. They can be in our warm or cold market groups. They could be like a boss or your father-in-law or mother-in-law, somebody who is either on a pedestal or we have some sort of limiting communication there. So it's good to have them on a list because one day we won't be afraid to share what we know. The wish list, also called the manifestation list, are individuals that we may not know yet, but we are looking to connect with. We're calling them into our life. They usually have skills or talents that will make them especially great team members. And sometimes I just say that to them. You'd make an amazing team member. Do you want to check out what I have to offer? The wish list to me is the fun list because we don't know who's going to show up when we ask for a single mother who's excited about sharing her experience with the world, a millennial who's hungry and loves helping people.
But has a huge social media marketing, Instagram, so maybe they have a large reach to a lot of people. So your wish list is kind of going to vary a little bit for everybody, but
yeah, and that one really develops along the way too. So create your lists. It's fun. It can be done over time, but especially in the first 30, 60, 90 days. And don't limit yourself to a number of people. Just leave it open-ended. Shoot for 2,000 if you can. So have fun with it.
Remember, they're all going to own machines one day anyway. They might as well hear about it from you.
Yeah, that's right. Learn how to source information in order to share information responsibly. Just like the game of telephone, even we see this in media all the time. Information gets passed along and the source information is different than it is down the line. Just like our water, the water from the source is way better than carried in a jug for 2 days. So learn to source it correctly. We definitely suggest going through PubMed or Google Scholar when looking for the science behind the water. The EWG.org is a great source to find out what's in people's tap water. If they have well water, that doesn't exactly work, but when we're researching Kangen water, we want to search electrolyzed reduced water or ERW water. I don't have it on here, but I'll add it, molecular hydrogen or H2 water, because that's what Kangen water is. Kangen water is not alkaline water. So if you hear people researching alkaline water as Kangen water, it's not the same. So YouTube is a great source and we utilize it quite a bit. We actually have our own YouTube channel called Kangen Culture TV.
Check it out. Which you may be watching right now.
You may be watching it right now. And it's a great source for how-to videos and personal testimonies.
Sure.
Everything on YouTube is not true though, so we will put that little disclaimer right there. And store,
unless it's on Kangen Culture, then it's probably true.
Yeah. hopefully.
We give good info.
Store pertinent information in a notes section on your phone, or text message yourself or email yourself, and create a library of information. If you don't know how to send a video via text, ask a friend to teach you, or ask us. We can make a video about it and teach you. But if you don't know how to do something, ask for help. There's nothing wrong about that at all.
So completely Kangen your lifestyle. Become a product of the product. Experimentation welcome. Becoming a product of your product will only help your business. We absolutely only make a few products, but they're the best in the world, and we utilize all of them. You know, we have a bottle to walk around with. I have a little Kangen thing on the back plate of my car. One night we were pulled over going into a little drugstore, and so people pulled in and said, "Is that Kangen water?" So, you know, we're a product of the product, and it's kind of everything we do. But have the bottles. You know, we utilize and bathe in an spa. We drink the water every day. I take the Ukon every day.
We carry bottles everywhere with the beauty water and
right,
2.5.
And 2.5. And so just becoming a product of a product is a big deal. So.
And have fun with it. Like we said in here, experimentation welcome. We love hearing how to utilize the water in different ways. And after years, how many years are you in this?
5.
After 5 years for Dan and 3.5 years for me, we're still discovering and learning new ways to utilize the water. Familiarize yourself with the Enagic's procedures and policies. This is just one section. It's available on enagic.com, and it's really, really important if you're going to be a distributor and educator of Enagic's products and Kangen water, that you do your due diligence in finding out how the company operates and how to set a good example for the next distributors who come in. This is one of my favorite paragraphs in the procedures and policies, and it's under sponsorship. There is no magic involved in the company or in any business. Those who sponsor widely but who do not help new independent distributors develop their business meet with limited success, and we've learned this. That's why we're here now. Therefore, it is the independent distributor's responsibility to follow through and make sure the new independent distributor is properly informed and trained in the professional guidelines of the network marketing industry. And it's a huge industry. And First Year in Network Marketing is a great book that we like to suggest to new distributors too.
For sure.
When soliciting a new prospective independent distributor to join the company's network program, the independent distributor must clearly explain the following: the products. So we got to know the products, right? The type, the performance, and quality of each product. A lot of people actually like to know about our product and the ones similar to it. Also,
know your competition.
Yeah, know your competition. The compensation plan. You don't have to know the whole compensation plan, but knowing up until about what 3 or 4A to start is huge. The policies and procedures, independent distributors' rights and duties, and other important items that will affect the judgment of the prospective distributor. And that's usually answered through their questions, whatever questions they have coming in.
And just a quick note on compensation before we move on. You are going to find the people that get excited about getting into your business are a lot more plentiful when you can actually show the business. So you really have to sit down, play with paper, draw it out to 1, 2, 3, 4A, at least be able to show them that, because truly at 3 and 4A is where the real money starts. But if you want somebody to come into business with you, you obviously got to be able to explain it to them. So choose a mentor, listen to them, and do what they suggest. Choose a mentor. Align yourself with someone you respect, is successful in their approach to business, life, and helping others. This does not have to be your upline, but it certainly helps. And here's a huge thing: be coachable. This is the most important skill when developing yourself as a social marketer. Just like an athlete, you must learn to grow in order to reach your peak performance level. You know, this is an evolving process for all of us, and being coachable is something that I've had to, really sit down and look at in the last, especially year to 2 years, and it's dramatically changed what's going on in our lives and our business. So most importantly, take action. The path to success is to take massive, determined action. If you're out there sharing this water, showing this water, sending people videos, you're involved, all out massive action, it's going to reflect in your business. If you're sitting there loving that machine, not talking to many people and wondering why you're not selling them, That's not a coincidence. So take action, because I promise you it'll show up back in your daily life.
Absolutely. And look at yourself in the mirror, because you're going to be a mentor to yourself. Learning how to self-motivate is a huge part of this business. So sometimes having a little pep talk with yourself can really help things along.
And reach out to that mentor when you're having a downtime. If you are having frustrations, reach out to a mentor, somebody that you can trust, for sure.
Always keep learning. And this is something that I believe actually keeps our brain young. Learning how to not be emotionally invested in the outcome, and don't take it personally.
Rule number one, I promise you, the first 2 years I took everything personal. Don't. The water's amazing. The product is perfect. The company is unbelievable. Share the information, share your knowledge, help the people that are open to it, and move on. And those people will come back into your life. I promise you. Don't spend a lot of time and energy and taking things personally. People don't know what they're saying no to. It has nothing to do with you. So
yeah, we've had a lot of experiences, especially with all of the gatherings that we've gone to and just been educating all day, and we've had everything from people laughing in our face to telling us we're crazy. And the thing is, we are crazy. We're crazy, awesome water people, and that's that.
And a lot of people that have told us are crazy now own machines a couple of years later, so don't worry when they say that. You just tell them, oh, okay, I'm a 2A now, I guess I'll just sign them up as a 6. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, we never burn bridges, and we never make people feel bad for what they don't know. That's just where they're at. And actually them communicating their truth to us is an indicator of where to start when they're ready. So we also want to learn how to work a system and adapt. A good friend, Siha, taught me that when you are learning this, you create a system, you go out and we try your system, we come back and we evaluate the system, we make changes to the system, we go out, we try that system again, then we come back and we evaluate it again, and we make changes until we find a system that works for us, because one system is not going to work for everybody. Just like word tracks and scripts and things like that, just they don't make sense. So that's why it's so important for the first 30 or 60 days to drink your water, have an experience to speak from. So learn how to work a system, how to ask questions and interview people, learn how to ask for help and utilize a group, how to teach everything you learn. That's a good one. Even how to use the buttons on the machine, learn how to explain that to somebody else. Learn how to purchase from Enagic from start to finish. I mean, we all had to do it at first to come in, but learn how to do it so that you can talk someone through the process.
For sure. Learn how to access all of Enagic's forms and info online. Get in that back office and play around. There's a lot of stuff in there, from the forms to the tax calculator. I mean, I can take somebody in Delaware and find out exactly what the tax is to send them a junior. I can immediately switch it over to a K8 and get that information. Having that information is important, because when people start reaching out to you, we did a deal today. We had a lady that contacted us from a couple 100 miles away, just kind of out of the blue. And, she loved the fact that she said, well, if I pick it up there or it's shipped to me, what's the difference? I got back with her in 4 minutes with an exact dollar amount and the difference between tax there or going to her house. She appreciated that I knew how to get her the information that it took her to make a decision. And she ended up buying a K8. So everybody wins. So, know what you're doing, know what you're looking for, but the only way you're going to do that is you get in there and play online. And we will probably have classes in the future on how to navigate that back office, but learn how to install a water ionizer and how to explain how to use it. Liz just went over that. Learn how to let go of rejection. I promise it doesn't matter. And learn how to self-motivate. Not always an easy thing to do, but you have materials like this that you can go back and look at. And remember, when you're watching Kangen Culture TV and Dan says to you, don't worry about that. They're going to call you in a year and buy. I promise.
Oh, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but developing your personal library of information and keeping it accessible is really important. Dan gets, I don't know how many texts texts or calls a day. Hey, can you send me that Shan Stratton video where he's in the Seahawks facility? Hey, can you send me that 9.5 video? Hey, do you have that H2 minutes? And the thing is, he does, because he texts himself and creates a whole text list of all of these bits of information to have accessible to send to people. But it's really, really important for us to have our own, because if Dan's not available, I mean, really all these people need to do is go onto youtube.com and Google it. So let's create our own libraries and the ability to share information quickly from, our devices. These are tools, let's
They
use them
truly are.
wisely.
And some great places to start is molecular hydrogen for athletes, the Shannon Stratton video for Seahawks, the 9.5 video, which is about a 10-minute synopsis of the device, is great. H2 minutes, how small is molecular hydrogen? And remember, you want to be watching these videos and getting well versed in these videos, because I'm not going to send the same thing to a 27-year-old female prospect who's a yoga instructor that I am to a 62-year-old type 2 diabetic who gets a hold of me and says I'm 85 pounds overweight. I'm not going to send those two people the same 3 videos. So the only way I can access or really understand what's best going to work for each person is to be very knowledgeable about what's being said on those videos. So don't send out information that you haven't watched yourself. Get well versed on it. Watch them over and over. This is your craft. If you treat it like a part-time business, it's going to pay you like a part-time business. But if you get really well acquainted with the material you're sending out and you can cater it to that specific person's needs and help them with their problem, you'll get results a lot faster.
Beautiful. All right, this is our call to action for this week. Here's another quote I love, because I love quotes. When you stand and share your story in an empowering way, your story will heal you and your story will heal somebody else. It is so important to be able to tell our Kangen Water story, especially when we're educating on it, because in the first 30, 60, 90 days is when most people have at least an experience of some sort. And being able to draw from that experience is rooting ourselves in truth, and people hear that. If we're telling other people's stories, oh, I heard about this guy that his blood pressure went down when he drank Kangen water, it's not as powerful as saying, my eczema cleared up and I no longer have gout because I drink Kangen water. That to me feels strong and rooted in truth versus that telephone game we were talking about. So this week's Investment in You challenge is growing through action by sharing your Kangen water testimonial. We want to hear how you heard about Kangen water. Were you skeptical? Because I know this guy was. How long before you bought?
From the first time the guy brought it up to me to when I actually went and saw the demo was 14 months.
That's skepticism at its finest.
I had water in my toilet. I had it at home. I didn't understand what he was talking about. So, and then lastly, how has Kangen water changed your life? So written or filmed, you go ahead and choose, but please send that stuff to us. Make sure we get your testimonial. We want to see that from all of you. So,
and where do we want it sent to?
Where do we want it sent to? So if you find us, if you found us through Kangen Culture and it happens to be 2 years from now, where do we want that sent to?
What would you say? How about KangenElizabeth@gmail.com? That's Kangen Elizabeth@gmail.com,
Sure.
or KangenDan
999 at yahoo.com.
Either way, we'd love to see what your experience has been, and
those are also, if you just happen to stumble upon this and you haven't heard of Kangen water, or maybe you heard about it once, very half-heartedly, as in you just went to go check on it and you found this, those are also good emails to get a hold of us. Should we give out our numbers?
Not now.
Not now. So anyway, so you can find us at those, and we'll respond to you and answer any questions that you may have about Kangen culture and Kangen water. So
we appreciate you stopping by. We also have a website, kangenculture.org. If you want to check it out, there's all kinds of uses for the machine on there, as well as our testimony and our journey along the way. So we appreciate all of you for joining in, and we hope this helps you all, and have a beautiful rest of your day.
thank you.
Thank you.